I've had a chance to play around with this lens right here for a little while. Sigma kindly lent this to me. It's the 30mm f1.4. And the question I'll try to answer in this video is, how is this compared to this? This is the 33mm, also f1.4 native lens from Fujifilm. We shall talk about the pros and cons for both lenses, and finally which one should you get, because there are some very good selling points for both lenses depending on your use and your budget. And instead of me just sitting around talking about these two lenses, we shall go out for some POV street photography action in the extreme snowy weather conditions we had in Oslo yesterday and really put these two to the test. So let's go, starting with the 30mm f1.4 from Sigma.
Conditions today very snowy indeed. Very good challenge for me as well. This is definitely not the conditions I'm used to shooting in. Good fun for me to try these two lenses and make a first impression or comparisons video. But look at this. It's supposed to snow like this for the whole day, so it's definitely going to be a cool field day. Let's try a macro shot here. That was the first POV session, the warm-up session if you will, done of the 30mm from Sigma. Now let's get back home and have a look at the facts about this lens.
Quick facts about this 30mm. That's roughly 45mm equivalent on a full frame camera. It's also very light, weighing only 275 grams, and that's impressive. It doesn't have an aperture ring like the native Fuji lenses, and it's also not weather sealed. That I really wish it was, especially on snowy days like this, or if you want to go out to shoot some moody, rainy street photography. But to weigh up for that, it's very affordable at $339 retail price, and it has a solid, it feels a little bit plasticky, but it also feels like good quality. So with that, let's get back into the field for some more snowy street photography before we switch over to the 33mm native Fuji lens to see what that is like compared to this one. Let's go.
There's a good one. That's the thing that worries me a little bit with this lens, is that since it's not weather sealed and we have quite heavy snow today, I'm like have this in the back of my head that it will be damaged or something like that, so I have to be really careful. Versus with the Fujifilm that is weather sealed, I wouldn't think that much about it. But here's maybe this is something, yeah. Looks quite cool. Very minimalistic.
That's all I dare to do, since this lens is a loaner from Sigma. Thank you very much to Sigma for lending me the lens. but it was covered with snow and I don't want to damage it since it's not weather sealed. But this is extreme conditions, so to have that in mind, I would normally go out to do street photography on sunny days because that is my favorite. But what I think was really good is that this focuses at least as good as the Fuji, the native Fuji lens. When it finds a human element, when I have the face detect on, it finds it and it sticks to it despite all that snow in the frame. So that's really, really good. And that's basically all I have to say for now. Obviously I'd have to spend a lot more time with it to give it justice, but treat this as like a first impressions extreme conditions test. Now I'm going to go over to my 33mm from Fuji and do some more POV street photography action in the snow. Let's go.
This, I think, is a really cool frame if I can only have a human element coming towards me, and it looks like my wish will come true. Hallelujah. Let's have a look at this. I think I got a banger right there.
Quick facts about this Fuji 33mm, that's roughly 50mm equivalent on a full frame camera. It's heavier than the 30mm from Sigma, weighing 360 grams. It does have the aperture ring, as you would expect, and it is weather sealed as well. It is made of metal, or it feels like heavy. It has a much more solid feel about it than the Sigma, but it's also much more expensive, almost 3 times as expensive, retailing at around $800. Okay, let's get back into the field, more snow street photography with this lens, and then we shall wrap up with some pros, cons, my thoughts, and all that good stuff at the end of the video. I had to throw in the towel at this point because both the camera and the lens was getting drenched, and sure, both the Fuji 33mm and the X-T5 is weather sealed, but I don't see the point of stress testing my gear to the point of destruction. That's just stupid. But it was good fun to go out in a snowstorm like this, and really cool to see how everything changes under different conditions, these familiar locations that I've been to hundreds of times before. Not sure about the photos, but that's not really the point of this video. By the way, have you subscribed to my channel or liked this video? If you've come this far, I'd really appreciate it if you did. It massively helps what I do here on YouTube, so thank you for that. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of these lenses, starting with the 30mm from Sigma. And the first one is that it's really affordable at only $339. That's a good price for a fast prime like this. It's also very light. That's something I value when I'm traveling and stuff like that, weighing only 275 grams. Very good job right there, and it's sharp. It also focuses very precisely, I think. Even in this heavy snowstorm, I had on face detection or subject detection on the camera, and it finds the subject and it tracks the subject, sticks to it, and it very rarely misses the focus. So good job here for Sigma. The cons for this lens would be that there's no aperture ring. To me, that's not a big deal since I quickly adapt to that and just use the front dial on my camera to adjust the aperture. The other bigger con for this lens is that it has no weather sealing, and normally I wouldn't think too much about this, but since I've now tested it in extreme weather conditions, this snowstorm in Oslo, it was constantly in the back of my head. So I was always thinking that, could this damage the lens? Would it be damaged now? And that's not a good thing when I want to focus on my street photography. But I think a few raindrops here and there wouldn't be a problem at all, and if you're not shooting in heavy rain or extreme weather conditions like a snowstorm, I think it's not a problem at all. Overall, I'll say that this has great value. It's light, affordable and sharp. Perfect lens for street photography and portraits as well, I can imagine. If you're on a budget, this is a great option. Now let's talk about the native 33mm f1.4 from Fujifilm and the cons first. It's super sharp and very few people has anything bad to say about this lens on the internet. It's also very solid and feels well built. Very quality feel about it. It's light-ish, not as light as the Sigma 30mm, but at 360 gram it's still very light compared to the full frame systems out there that are just humongous and weighs a ton. The focus is also fast and precise, same as the Sigma. It finds the subject, sticks to it, and it hits the focus almost every time, which is good, even in this heavy snowstorm. Cons about this lens, can I say anything bad about it? Not really. It's more expensive, that's about the only thing I could find. It cost $800 compared to the $339 for the Sigma lens, but Fujifilm often has great deals, so I got this brand new for $600. I probably wouldn't pay the full $800 price for it brand new. I would rather look for a great deal because you can get these second hand as well. But look out for those Fuji deals if you want this lens, and there's a link to this in the description as well if you want to check it out. Overall, I love this lens. I can have peace of mind when I shoot in extreme weather conditions. I don't have to think about it too much, and it's a great lens. Yeah. So which one should you get? If you're on a budget and want a sharp fast prime for a great price, get the Sigma. Cover it with a plastic bag if you're out in the rain or snow, and spend the money you save on a trip to go somewhere cool instead. If you have the money or stumble upon a great deal like I did, get the Fuji instead. Since I mostly shoot with prime lenses and the 33mm happens to be one of my favorite focal lengths, I would probably wait for that good deal and get this one. Getting premium glass you know you will use as your workhorse always pays off in the end. Zoom lenses is a different story, and I don't know if you checked that out, but I tested the great 18-50 Sigma lens for the Fuji system. Fantastic, you should probably check that out after watching this video. And that's it for now. Hope you found this somewhat useful, and if you did, please leave a like on this video. And if you come this far and you aren't subscribed to the channel, it would be a great idea to do so now. If you're into street photography, travel and all that good stuff, yeah, that's what I do here on the channel. So I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.